All right, good evening, everyone. It is 6:30 on Monday, April 3rd. This is a regular meeting of the Arlington City Council. I'm Mayor Rich Nagel. I'll be presiding at the meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to everyone in the audience. I know there's some are here for the public hearing, and some are here for some of the street project issues. So again, welcome to our meeting. We'll have roll call. Councilmember Cowell.
Here.
Councilmember Hattlestead.
Here.
Councilmember Yashewski.
Here.
Councilmember Batcher.
Here.
All members are here except Member Member Highland, and we do continue to think of him and hope for a speedy recovery for Mr. Highland, who has just gone through some heart surgery. So also in attendance this evening, to my left is City Administrator Donabauer, to my right, City Attorney Arneson. Some of you in the audience I know, Kurt Mink representing the Enterprise, Jason Femright representing Bolton and Mink. One of our police officers, I believe from Gaylord, is here. Correct. Is that right? Yes. Welcome. Welcome. Protect us while you're here, please. So, and again, welcome to all the rest of you here. We're pleased to see a good turnout. All right, the agenda. You have the agenda before you. Is there any changes to the agenda?
I would like to propose adding 2 items and removing 1. So removing item 4C from the consent agenda, the March 28th special meeting minutes. We'll bring them back to the next meeting. But I'd like to add an item under consent agenda, a letter K or J now, authorize submittal of student essay to MMUA State Essay Scholarship Contest. And then under new business, I'd like to add authorize advertisement for a sealed bid sale of a 2008 Chevrolet Impala.
Okay, is there any other changes? I would like to move item J from the consent agenda and discuss that under new business. That is authorization for intern police chief Jordan Voigt to return to police officer position. So we'll move that to new business. Any other changes? If not, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as amended.
I have a question first.
Yes.
If I may, what is the K or J, authorized submittal of student essay to MMUA? What is that regarding?
That is, the city is part of the MMUA. It's a service organization for our utilities. And there's a scholarship that is offered through MMUA. That information is given to the high school, and then students, seniors, are able to apply for that. And for the first time since I've been here, the city actually received an application for that. It is in your packet, and it's the only essay that we received. So with council's action, we would be forwarding that to the state competition, and from there, 3 winners would be selected overall.
Okay, any other questions about the agenda? If not, again, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll move we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilmember Yashewski, second by Councilmember Hattlestead to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. It is as follows. Approval of the March 20th regular meeting minutes, approval of the March 20th workshop meeting minutes, approval of bills, approval of the Raceway Ambulance Service Agreement, approval of the Minnesota Rodeo Association High Island Arena Ambulance Service Agreement, approval of temporary road closure and use of city resources for the 2017 Cancer Car Cruise 5K run and walk set for Saturday, May 20th, and rain day is Saturday, May 21st. Item H, authorize hiring of Ashley Carlson, volunteer EMT, Arlington Area Ambulance. Item I, authorize hiring of Bryce Kleckel, volunteer EMT, Arlington Area Ambulance. And then lastly, the item K or J or wherever it would end up, authorize submittal of student essay to MMUA State Essay Scholarship Contest. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilmember Cowell, second by Councilmember Yashewski to approve the consent agenda as read. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. All right, we will move on to public hearings. At this time, I will recess the regular meeting of the City Council and I will open the public hearing. The hearing is being held to discuss the Circle Drive Street and Utility Improvement Project. Okay. Mr. Femright, would you have something to present on
Yes, you
behalf of
can, yeah.
Bolton and Mink, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, as we presented the Circle Drive Street Utility Improvements in the feasibility report dated March 6th of 2017, it really is two projects combined. Anybody needs a copy of the exhibit, I have some of them here. First of it is a surface improvements for Circle Drive, essentially from the County Road 12 south and then really to that second access to Semstone. With that, we're proposing a 10-ton rural section bituminous roadway. It's 3 inches of bituminous over 2 inches of wearing course over 3 inches of non-wearing course, 4 inches of new class 5, and then the existing around 12 inches of aggregate that's out there. So that's the area up there as it connects to 12 all the way down to that second access to Semstone. That's essentially the street improvements that are proposed with the Circle Drive improvements. The second portion of this is a sewer and water extension, essentially to the central part of the Dressen property for potential connection to a development on that corner parcel up there at 12. And
What?
that's all right, that's all right.
No, it isn't all right. Not if you can't see what you're reading.
We'll get you a flashlight.
Brought a headlight, right?
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Can you click to the second one? Do you have the second one? Otherwise, yeah, there you go. So that's the sewer and water extension. We have the current terminus of the sewer and water kind of down in the lower part of the screen. We're going to extend that up Circle Drive and then through a new 30-foot utility easement. We have 8-inch water and 8-inch sanitary sewer up to essentially that central location for connection for that new potential development up there in that lightest blue color. Estimated costs were presented in the feasibility report, and then we also went through the city's assessment policy and kind of looked at our assessment options for this. And I like I said, I have extra assessment rolls here. When we're looking at, I have them kind of broken out into the utilities and along with the street. So the street improvements, we have Semstone paying 35%. I should take one quick step back. The city did apply for and currently are successful with the VDPI grant, which is about $65,000. I believe that was the number. $66,275 in grant funding that's helping with the construction costs of this road, this street itself. So we've taken that amount off of the top of the estimated cost and then prepared this roll with 35% to the Semstone property. The 3 Dressen properties were 16.25%, and then the Lucas properties was another 16.25%. So a preliminary assessment of about $12,000 for those 16.25%, and then almost $26,000 preliminary estimate for the Semstone at 35%. When we looked at the sanitary sewer and the water main, we looked at that on a per lot method. So when we're talking about those sewer and that water extension, we had 3 parcels, the 3 Dressen parcels, available for those assessments, and that was $37,000 a piece, roughly. And then we did have a small amount to Semstone where we were going to be extending a couple of sewer and water services, which were separate from those extensions, and that's about a $5,800 assessment. Current timeline, we're here at the improvement hearing. We are following the Minnesota statute, chapter 429 process for assessing improvements. Like I mentioned, we did prepare this assessment, or prepared the preliminary engineering report that was presented and adopted by the council. And now we're here tonight holding what is called the improvement hearing. If the council elects to continue to move forward after they've received comment, we would go ahead and prepare plans and specifications and bid the project. If everything kind of stays on the current timeline that we have in our tentative schedule here, it'd be about a May 10th bid opening for these improvements. The council at that point would review the bids and then call for an assessment hearing. That would be the final assessment hearing. Be another meeting similar to this, except we would have final bid numbers to present in the final assessment roll. If the council wants to continue to move forward, they could potentially award that contract that night. We have that assessment hearing scheduled right now tentatively for June 5th. There'll be notices and communications that are sent out to confirm when that is. And if we award the contract, construction could start about mid-June with a completion about the 1st of August. So that's a nutshell of the project. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the mayor and you can open up the hearing.
All right, at this time, I would accept statements from anyone in the audience that wishes to speak relative to this project. So if you would come up and use the microphone, please, that'd be the best that. I believe it's turned on. If not, just push that button in that chair there, please, and identify yourself.
Hi, I'm Warren Dressen. I own the property in question here. Our frontage, 642 feet. It's got equipment, 735 feet. Semstone, 1,058 feet. Our usage, if we ever even use our road attached to that, has only 175 feet. We're already paying the full bore for the sewer and water coming in. Can't argue that. But this road isn't for me, it's for Semstone. I'm buddies with Semstone, but I just don't feel like I want to buy them a road because I'm being assessed 48.75% of that road. And when it comes to acreage, Lucas has 10.4, Semstone 6.46, Dressen 6.65. Lucas assessment is 12 grand, Semstone assessment 25 grand, and I'm at 36,000. I just kind of feeling poorly about this deal. I have 3 lots. Maybe I should have put them all together, but I've got 1 lot that doesn't even touch Circle Drive. And like we're being assessed for that road for 3 lots. And then if I have my way, I won't even have that access on Circle Drive. We don't need it. We've got a perfectly good access to County Road 12. And also, the amount of traffic coming in and out of our facility is gonna be maximum 5 to 6 loads a day. Period. No incoming. That's, everything that comes in there is by rail or by sewer and water. So our usage of that road is minimal. I realize I'm gonna have to pay something, but I'm paying for half the entire road project there, and it's kinda not right, I don't think. That's all I really have to say
Okay,
at this time.
appreciate your input.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Yes.
Tim Kuby, Arlington, Minnesota. I have a question about your sewer. You mentioned the sewer asset. What does that really mean? Because
Sanitary sewer?
anything coming off that platform is considered hazardous material and cannot be pumped into a storm sewer or any other type of sewer. It has to be put into a holding pond because cement has a 12.5% alkali, which makes it or pH, which makes it alkali, and a perfect 7 is neutral on a pH. So that is considered hazardous material going down the drain, and it cannot be going down a city sewer.
The sanitary sewer connection is for the restroom facility.
Okay, that's it?
Yes,
No, nothing else? Oh, okay.
that's my understanding. They have their own tank, but we'll monitor their connection there if there's anything different than typical residential or municipal type waste coming
Okay.
to it, yes.
That's my question.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks.
Kuby. Anyone else? Anyone else? One last time? Okay, seeing no additional input then, I will close the public hearing at this time and reconvene the regular meeting. Guess at this time, the council, if they wish, we can start discussing, the topic that's at hand. Any questions for Mr. Plumright, or comments on what you heard? It's on the agenda for later, is it not, a decision?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Hearing no discussion, we will move on to citizens addressing the council. Mr. John Paulman, resident, would like to talk to us about the school traffic concerns. Good evening, John.
Evening. My name is John Paulman, and like I say, I'm a resident of Arlington. At the last meeting, we were concerned with speed and traffic and so forth, and I know you stepped up the patrol, and he stated that he didn't see a need for a speed limit or any assigned school zone or anything because he didn't think there was a problem. Well, I don't know, the problem still exists. I mean, the speed is one thing, but the traffic is another thing. And I understand that there's going to be a bus route. So that'll make the traffic a lot worse. And so I contacted Superintendent Amsden, and he sent back a map and a cover letter that stated possibility. He didn't really say that he knew where the exits or what you see outlets would be, but he's thought it would involve 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, Douglas Street, and or Chandler. And this is a real problem because all our streets in that area have been narrowed, and it definitely is going to cause traffic problems, pedestrian problems, whatever you have, if there are buses going to that. Not only is it for the school, people attending school, or the students and teachers and so forth, but also when there are basketball games, any school event, you're going to have a traffic problem there. And I know that parking is also a problem. Now that I understand the school is going to be leasing the Methodist Church lot, and that's only a 5-year lease, the way I understand. And so, you know, what's preventing them from the church or something if they want to expand by using that lot? Or say after 5 years, there won't be, they want the lot back. So that would cause another problem, because at the present time, the parking lots that are being provided by the school are definitely too small. I don't know if any of you have ever counted the cars that are parked on the streets. There's 100 cars some days parked. Not to say how many cars are going to be parked during athletic events and doings at the school. And I know the value of our houses has dropped because of the school and the issues with the streets and so forth. And I suppose there would be a solution, one solution to it would be probably having them become a one-way street or parking on one side of the street only. But I don't think there's any of the residents that live in that area and on those streets that want to say, you can't park here. I mean, you can't park in front of your house, or if you have to walk across the street. I mean, it just, the thing just isn't feasible. I do think I have a solution to this. All of you, I gave you all a map, a letter. Is there anybody else that would like to see a map that I got from the school? I have extras here, and we can pass them around if you like.
She's gonna pull up a map.
Oh, well. Okay, if you would point out on that map or on the map that you have in front of you, the entrance where it is now. It's on the west side of school, and the buses go past where they, past that canopy there, and then it continues on north. What's wrong with continuing that same street down that property line there, or someone owns that land in there, maybe the school does. I'm sure they do, probably. And the buses would enter from the west, go north, go all the way down to the front of the school, turn and go past the main entrance and exit out onto, Second Avenue? Yeah. And Second Avenue, if you turn left or turn right, if you turn to your left, you'll be going right out onto Highway 5. You wouldn't be causing a problem at all. So, do any of you know what that situation is there by school?
I
Who
believe
owns that land?
I'm sure it's the school's property.
Yeah,
Except ex-officer Ravinsky's garage is pretty close there,
Yeah.
real close, they probably have to buy his
you
property.
know, I checked it all out, that road would be within, what, say, 3 feet of his, there's enough room there to put a road,
There's new sidewalk, that's where the ballparks used to be, right
Yeah.
there though too,
yeah.
to the west of the school building.
Okay, so why not, you're gonna have to blacktop it or concrete it anyhow, so that'll serve as a sidewalk.
If the street continues, it takes to the garage.
Huh?
If the street continues, it will take Ravinsky's garage.
Yeah, well, that's not our property, I think that would be up to the school on their property.
Okay, well, typically, John, I give you 5 minutes for the input, and I think you've exhausted that already, but you've had some good input, and you brought
Yeah,
some good, potential ideas here to.
I can't see why that would relieve a very, very, and that street, that entrance, you could put a sign up there, buses only. So you wouldn't have local traffic or students cutting through there.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you very much for your input, John.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
we've had no discussion with the school about any lease.
okay, I hadn't heard any either, but I didn't wanna,
We had no discussion with the
Okay,
school about any
okay.
Well,
lease.
it was in the paper, so that's all right.
No, we were talking about selling the lot, but they've not decided to do that, and we've had no discussion about any lease.
okay. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
correcting that, appreciate it. Alright. Okay, is there any other citizens wishing to address the council at this time? Yes, Madam Chair, please.
Hi, I'm Steve Friesen. I live along 407 Meadowlark Lane. And, this is just in response to the survey that I received in the mail here about a week ago concerning the street improvement project that was proposed to be tacked on to the Circle Drive improvement. At this time, the survey asked, do you agree with it, or no, I'm not interested, and at this point in time, I'd like to say no, I am not interested in an upgraded road. I did have some comments I attached to the survey that I submitted to Administrator Dunbar. Did you get them?
Yes, and the council's seen it as well.
Okay, so I won't go into detail then, since you've already seen the comments that I did have on that, but I just thought I'd make a personal appearance and say at this point in time, I don't feel that the improvement on that street is needed. So,
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Tim Kuby, Arlington, Minnesota. Some things I'd like to add to Steve's comment besides road that is planned past our house, or was planned, I should say. I'd like to know how the city council feels about the gravel road that we have out there. It's being treated as a township road. We have semis going through, we have anhydrous tanks going through, we have farm implements going through. I don't see that on any other side street in Arlington, such as Baker, Adams, any of those streets. Why isn't Meadowlark Lane being treated as a street in town? That's what it's there for. The Circle Drive, there really isn't a Circle Drive anymore. Circle Drive got eliminated when you put the power transformer out here. So I don't even know why it's called Circle Drive anymore. Another thing, besides the anhydrous and coming through, and Scott Equipment, what else do I got here? I mean, we have a lot of problems out there with, you talked about the exhibition driving last meeting and speeding. Most of the speeding and exhibition driving are down on Brook Street and Highland Circle. You talked about unkept lots. We have a lot that hasn't been mowed for about the last 10 years. You have trees growing up in it. We have noxious weeds growing in it. We have thistle growing in it. I've already talked to the owners several times about it to the city, about it up to the city, and all they get is talk to the owner. Something's got to be done. I mean, if you're holding other people responsible, the person who owns this lot has to be responsible also. But it's pretty much about it. I just wish that street would be treated like a street instead of a township road. Something's gotta change out there. Somebody's gonna get hurt. There's a lot of grandkids coming through. There's a lot of kids. You have several kids in the area. There's no tonnage for the road. That should not even be considered a trucking road. We have a bridge that we don't know what the weight limit on is on the bridge in Brook Street. Most side roads are 5-ton axle weight, and we know that's not happening out there. It seems like everybody thinks that's a country out there, but it's not. It's part of the city. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you for your input.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Anyone else have any comments at this time? Okay, hearing none, we are going to move on then to announcements, item number 7.
This upcoming Saturday, we have the tree steward training class here at the Arlington Community Center, scheduled from 10 to 4:30 p.m. We are taking reservations for that, so please let us know. This class is led by the University of Minnesota. Next, we have the Senior Expo, which will be held Tuesday, April 18th from 9 to 2:15, again, right here at our Arlington Community Center. Our Mayor Nagel, will be hosting Coffee with the Mayor at 1:30 on April 20th at the Cenex gas station. And the second annual Go Local, Live and Work in Sibley County Business Expo will be held right here again at the Community Center, April 20th from 4 to 8 p.m. The county will be hosting the Local Board of Appeal and Equalization Open Book Hearing on Thursday, April 20th, 3 to 8 p.m. at the Sibley County Assessor's Office in Gaylord. And then just in addition, Belinda Jensen from Carol Levin, she'll be at the Arlington Library on April 21st. I believe that time is at noon. We have the Arlington Chamber Spring into Arlington event on April 27th, 5 to 8 p.m. on Main Street, as well as the EMS building. And then we have another class, again taught by the University of Minnesota in partnership with the city's grant for the Community Forestry Grant, and that is how to become a tree steward. That's Saturday, May 13th, 10 to 4:30 p.m., Arlington Community Center. And then we have the City of Arlington Cleanup Day, May 24th, 9 to 4 p.m. in partnership with Tri-County Waste at Sibley County Fairgrounds. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions on the announcements?
When was the Jensen appearance at the library?
Friday, April 21st.
April, okay.
And
Say hi to Belinda.
I would just like to mention about the tree steward program, if there's anyone out there, anyone watching our meetings or getting, interested at all in trees, that is a very good program. And in the following, a number of weeks after that, we have the tree inventory, which, more help is needed on that. And again, if you enjoy working with trees, it's a very interesting program. I encourage you to give it some thought. Okay, item 8, communications.
The Arbor Day Foundation sent its letter of congratulations to the city of Arlington for its 9th year as Tree City USA, as well as its 2nd year as a Growth Award winner. And then Mediacom just sent late last week its announcement that they will be releasing the 1 gig broadband launch in Arlington this coming month. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. I don't think there's any boards reporting or any committees reporting this evening, so we'll move right into ordinance and resolutions. First reading, ordinance 313.
City Attorney Arneson forwarded chapters 7 and 8 to our council for their review. Again, this is just a process of codifying over 300 ordinances into a summary type version, more like a chapter book, so it's an easy to comprehend book. So this week, chapter 7 regarding traffic and parking, as well as chapter 8 liquor control, were distributed for review.
And I did send along a brief comment sheet in each case. Oh, thanks, Mr. Mayor. For the council's interest, again, in each case, I attached a list of the old ordinances that are being superseded by the new code chapter in each instance. Traffic and parking, traffic especially is largely regulated by state statutes, things like speeding laws and moving traffic violations and so on. So at the beginning of that chapter, we just note that those state laws are incorporated by reference. But there are some areas where the city is allowed to include its own regulations, and in particular, parking is something that is allowed to be controlled more at the local level. The state doesn't get into that too much, except they do have some universal parking restrictions from fire hydrants and controlled intersections, things like that, which we also incorporated into our ordinance. The liquor control chapter, we've done tremendous work on that over the years. As I commented, we did have a number of ordinances that were somewhat specific to the municipal liquor store, which of course we haven't had for some time. And so those ordinances were largely irrelevant. But we also had a number of changes over the years to keep up with state changes. The state is always changing its liquor laws. And in fact, as you know, we have a Sunday sales law change coming down the pike, which will probably require us to do a slight modification to our ordinance. But we had in recent years compiled some lengthy ordinances that incorporated many of the changes that had taken place over the decades. And so the most recent ordinance did not require much tweaking. We largely just rolled it into a chapter format as chapter 8. Again, this would be considered a first reading along with the other chapters already submitted. And anytime any council person has any questions, comments, proposed changes, they can be brought up. When we get to the final chapter 13, and all of those have been submitted to the council, it would be appropriate at that time, if there are no changes offered, to then consider it a second reading and adopt the entire code in one step. So, questions, comments?
Okay, anything, council? Hearing none, we will consider this the first reading then.
And then to be considered as a first reading, its first reading is ordinance number 313, an ordinance enacting a code of ordinances for the city of Arlington, Minnesota, amending, restating, revising, updating, codifying, and compiling certain ordinances of the city dealing with subjects embraced in the code of ordinances and providing penalties for the violation of code of ordinances.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on then to resolutions. Item 10, and resolution, the first one we have is a order improvement and authorized preparation of plans and specs for Circle Drive Street and Utility Improvement Project.
So earlier in the meeting, we conducted our public hearing regarding the Circle Drive Street and Utility Improvement Project. And the council is now being asked, after hearing the scope of the project as well as taking comments from the public, the council is being asked to officially take action on ordering an improvement and authorizing preparation of plans and specifications for the Circle Drive Street and Utility Improvement Project.
Anyone wish to introduce the resolution? Anyone? We certainly can have some discussion after the resolution's been introduced. Just asking for a door opener here.
I'll introduce Resolution 25, 2017, ordering improvements and authorizing preparation of plans and specifications for the Circle Drive Street and utility improvements.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Resolution 25-2017 has been introduced by Councilmember Batchor, second by Councilmember Hattlestead. That resolution is the resolution ordering improvements and authorizing preparation of plans and specifications for the Circle Drive Street and Utility Improvements. Is there discussion?
Jason, when previous, I'm trying to remember I was trying to find the other options there were for assessing. I know which we chose the per lot basis, right?
Well, yeah, it was kind of a combination. We looked at, if you recall, we had 3 different options. Adjusted front footage, which all of these lots are very odd shaped. That front footage works really well for rectangle lots, and there's some different frontages on that. There was the area method, and then the per lot method were the 3 options that are kind of outlined in the assessment policy, and we the council elected to kind of do a hybrid of the per lot method here. Trying to put a little bit of that 35% on the Semstone was the discussion. Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Roll call vote. Councilmember Hattlestead.
Yes.
Councilmember Yashewski.
Yes.
Councilmember Cowell.
No.
Councilmember Batchor.
Yes.
3 in favor, 1 opposed. Resolution passes. All right, moving on to item B, resolution 26-17, approve lawful gambling permit for the Ridgeview Sibley Medical Center.
This is an annual resolution or application for a gambling permit from Ridgeview Sibley Medical Center, and this is for the raffle event that they conduct during Arla Dazzle.
Introduction of the resolution, anyone?
I'll introduce resolution 26-2017, approve a lawful gambling permit for Ridgeview Sibley Medical Center.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Cowell introduced resolution 26-2017. It was seconded by Councilmember Yashewski, and that resolution is approving the application for a lawful gambling permit for Ridgeview Sibley Medical Center. Is there any discussion? If not, vote by roll call vote. Councilmember Batchor.
Yes.
Councilmember Hattlestead.
Yes.
Councilmember Cowell.
Yes.
Councilmember Yashewski.
Yes.
All in favor, none opposed, the resolution is adopted. There is no unfinished business at this time. We'll move on to item number 11, authorize or deny refunds related to 2015 street and utility improvement project.
To provide some background, council had asked staff to conduct research regarding the city's assessment process. So staff has done so by reviewing council meeting minutes as well as DVDs, just to get a gauge on why the assessment process is the way it is. The process for the 2012 as well as the 2015 project is to finalize the assessment roll at the time that the project has been awarded. Council had also asked city staff to conduct some research or put together some information regarding the cost in order to recalculate the project costs related to the 2015 project, so that information has been provided. Staff has also consulted with our city professionals, Shannon Sweeney from David Drown and Associates, our city engineer, as well as contacting the league, so that information is in your packet. As well as city staff has contacted cities throughout the state of Minnesota through listserv, just to inquire on their assessment policies, as well as whether they provide refunds to their residents after a project has been completed. So that information is before the council, and tonight the council had asked that we put this agenda item on, whether to authorize or deny refunds related to the 2015 street and utility improvement project.
Okay, open for discussion.
I have a question for you, Liza, or whoever, just so I understand this 100%. You have a street project, and if it's short funds, everybody within the community pays it, correct?
Correct.
And what we've done in the past, if we were long funds, the money is just paid back to the bond, and everybody receives their share that way,
Correct.
correct?
So the proceeds, yes, are rolled over in toward the bond payment,
Bond, yeah.
just as is called out in the bond document that Shannon Sweeney has submitted to this council.
So everybody benefits from the shortage, or pays on the, or vice versa.
Correct. 100% of our residents pay for that project. So therefore, if there is an under, then 100% of the
100%
residents.
get back.
Mhm.
Other comments?
I've been tossing this around my head for weeks, and Mr. Reeds spoke to us, and he left us with this thought: do the right thing. And as much as I would agree with him, I would like my money back on the investment into the property. What's right for all the citizens? We've asked professional help, Shannon Sweeney to give us advice, engineer to give us advice. What do other communities from around the state do? And they all gave the same answer. So I'm gonna base my decision on all those factors.
And
I
guess
just, go ahead.
I feel the same way. I guess, you know, in the past, if we, and moving forward, we haven't changed our policy at all, and in our policy it states what we were intending to do with 100% of the citizens in town either being affected one way or another, either by a shortage or by becoming under budget, I guess that's what I'm basing my decision on as well.
Chair would entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to, I guess, don't say number one, do not issue refund based on Shannon Sweeney's professional opinion, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Councilmember Hattlestead made the motion, Councilmember Yashewski seconded it, and that is to deny the refunds related to the 2015 Street and Utility Improvement Project. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Abstain.
3 yes, 3, did you go ahead? Okay, 3 yeses and 1 abstention. Motion is carried. All right, moving on to item 12, gazebo in the Memorial Park.
The hospital administrator, Todd Sandberg, contacted staff last week to indicate that they are going to be moving forward with their construction project. And in doing so, the gazebo will be demolished just because of the condition that it is in. The hospital has acquired 3 bids in order to rebuild that gazebo in the same size and with the same building materials that was used. I know the Parks Committee had some interest in moving the location of that gazebo, and the hospital is in favor of moving that as well. So the hospital administrator's recommendation was, upon this council's consensus, that they would send a check to the city for the cost to replace the gazebo in its current, with the current building materials that are being used, and move the electrical. And so the city can use those funds to either expand, use the funds towards the cost of expanding the size or improving the materials to, I know I've heard our Parks Committee talk about a maintenance-free type of material. So he wanted to get your feeling for that before he brings it back to his hospital board, and they would be responsible for the demo and the demo costs. The check would just be simply for the cost to replace and build the structure.
The new gazebo.
I think that's fair. It's basically what I understood the agreement to be.
I personally, I would like to see the numbers or the, what was type of material that was used in putting together the dollar amount before we would agree to it. But I just want to make sure that, that it's being represented accurately and
Do we know where it's gonna be moved to yet? Where is it gonna be moved? Or rebuilt, I should say, not moved.
hard to describe. There's an area out there that has sort of, I would like to say a diamond-shaped sidewalk around it. It's totally enclosed with sidewalk, right in the middle of that.
Oh, so the east side of the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Near
Yep,
the-
same part, near,
near
yeah,
the
Okay.
I would
helicopter?
say almost straight east of where the gazebo is right now.
Okay.
Yep, there's one tree has to come down. There's a large tree, there's a small tree in that lot that can stay, there is a large tree that needs to come down. And, that would be the city's responsibility, so. But again, I personally would like to just take a look at the numbers that are backing up, the total amount that they're talking about.
Do you have to make a motion on this?
Did you want a motion or what?
I don't think so. I think he just wanted to get a consensus, and
Okay.
then we'll receive copies of the bids. He had
Right.
commented.
Yeah, I'd agree to see the stuff before we.
Yeah, our
Do
numbers
anything.
and their numbers could be
Yeah.
totally different.
Exactly. Okay, is it the consensus then to just give them a go-ahead on, okay. All right. Then we will move on to, let's see, we had moved one item from the front. Do you wanna do the sealed bids first? Yeah, all right. Authorize advertisement for sealed bids sale of the 2008 Chevy Impala.
Our police department did acquire their new patrol vehicle last week, and so in turn, the 2008 Chevy Impala has been stripped of all of its equipment, has been detailed, and now is ready for sale. It was consensus of this group to put that vehicle up for sale under a sealed bid process, so in your packet was a copy of an advertisement for bids. Vehicle is currently located in our parking lot. Sealed bids would be due by April 28th, which would be opened at noon, and then the highest bid would be brought to this council for decision at the following council meeting.
I'd like to authorize the advertisement for sealed bid sale of the 2008 Chevy Impala.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilmember Batchor, second by Councilmember Halsted to authorize advertisement for sealed bid sale of the 2008 Chev Impala, and that is the former patrol car. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. All right, then, item from the consent agenda was moved to the new business, and that is authorization for interim police chief Jordan Voigt to return to police officer position at $18.76 an hour, which would be step 3.
Was he on step 3 or step?
So he was on step 2 prior to taking the interim chief's position, and so upon.
And that was in November, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then at the end of December, council reviewed performance evaluations, and traditionally when an employee has received satisfactory or above rating, then they would move on to the next step. So now he would be at step 3.
Step 3 is his next, would be his up step.
Correct.
Okay, and I had asked to move that. I felt discussion was maybe appropriate. I know City Administrator Donabauer had done some research to neighboring police departments, and I feel we're a little low on the, on this scale, and I guess at this time, if, with Jordan being moved back into that, I think it would be a good time to take a look at bumping that scale up a little bit. I think it would also put us in a better position when we're advertising for a patrol officer.
We did bump it up, correct? When we,
Yeah, just a year and a half ago.
well, I mean, didn't we do that before we,
Police
That
chief.
was a chief.
just the chief? Okay.
Mhm.
I think those scales were just changed not too terribly long ago. And with all the uncertainty that's going on within the police department right now, and it not being budgeted, I guess, I think the step 3 where it's at is it step 3 or step 2?
Step,
So what would,
You're right, it is step 2.
yeah,
Step.
so he would be going to step 2.
is that right? Okay.
I didn't think it was step 3, but
When you look at this, it says minimum.
Yeah,
on step
yeah,
2, so
but this
it's
one is
step 2.
highlighted, that's, okay. It looks like it was updated in 2014, according to what I see to the side there,
Correct.
so 3 years ago. So council, how do you feel about that? Any changes?
I would be fine with bumping him up another step for all he's done in the last 3-4 months. I would have no problem with that.
Yeah, I think he's
I understand it's a little more money, but I think we need to, if we wanna stop losing some of these guys, maybe we need to step up a notch and let them know that we appreciate what they do.
And why are they leaving? And to find a better paying job.
Other comments? Chair would entertain a motion if so desired.
I guess I got another comment. How much is it gonna cost us for the rest of the year for him to go up a step? I mean, just so we have an idea on our budget, what that looks like to our budget,
So-
where we're at in our budget
So
as a
you'll-
whole too, that would be great.
See on the right-hand side, each step is a 53-cent increase. So on average, you know, a full-time employee works 2,080 hours, so, you know, I guess if you wanna take, I mean, we're already 1/3 of the way through the year. 1/3 of 2,080 and multiply that by 53 cents to get your gross increase.
And he was bumped up for the interim, correct?
Yeah.
To
To
While he was chief.
Right.
step 5.
step 5.
Mhm.
Step,
We're looking at $400 the rest of this year.
Is that it?
Well, 50 cents an hour, 40 hours is $20 a week. In 1 year, that's $1,000, and we're only looking at far less. And Jordan's went so far out of his way for us.
Right.
I think, I don't, as far as I'm concerned, I think Jordan deserves it.
well, again, I can't vote, but I
Right.
can state my opinion. I agree with you. I think he does.
All right, I got the scale up here, and it's for a full year, $1,103.
Yeah. So we're third of the way through,
Right.
so take 400 off of that, $700.
And that would move him from which step to which step, just so I'm, make sure I'm on the right
From
one now.
step 1 to step 3.
You go up to 3.
Step
Okay.
2 to step 3. I think.
You go
Or
up
what's
2
the
to-
proposed?
I think. Oh, from
Well, actually, I mean,
I'm talking from 1 to 3.
but
He was 1 before he was interim chief, correct? Or was he 2?
He was,
he was 1.
he was step 1 at 18.23 an hour.
Right.
Okay.
And we moved him back to step 2.
No, we haven't moved him back yet, that's what we're doing right now. But so he took that over in November, he was at step 1, November. So he would be, because of his positive review, be moved to step 2
As of the first of
as
the
of the
year.
first of the year. But
Mhm.
instead of that, he was making the interim chief pay, which
Right.
was step 5-ish.
And so,
I think we need to do something positive.
Well, honestly, I think that is positive. With all the changes that are happening and us not knowing what's going on, I mean, I do appreciate what Jordan's all done, so,
so you're saying give him an extra year's credit?
I'm saying go from 1 to 3.
So that's almost 3,000. That's 2,300 over your full year.
not necessarily though, because he would have been
It's
on
gonna be
step,
2 anyways, so I'm
he would
proposing,
have been on step 2 in January.
Okay.
so I'm proposing jumping him up to step 3, 50 cents an hour. Or 51 cents, whatever it is.
53.
50. Is that a motion, Mr. Hattlestead?
I will make a motion to move Jordan from what was going to be step 2 up to step 3.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion by Councilmember Hattlestead, second by Councilmember Yashewski to move Officer Voigt up from step 2. I'll just make sure I'm saying this, yeah, step 2 to step 3. Is that correct? All right. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried. All right, committee updates under miscellaneous business. We did tour the cemetery tonight. Comments on that, and we should do a approve or deny on the proposed placement of the columbarium and sidewalk approach. Open for discussion.
I think the cemetery committee did a real good job, comprehensive. They thought out. I think they covered just about everything imaginable, so I like what I saw tonight.
Good.
Well, it's been in the plan for a long time. They did their homework. It's a needed, kind of something in the future, what people are going towards, needed. I'd also like to comment though that the roads, the rest of the roadways out there are in
Yeah.
terrible shape and they really need some attention. The one that's direct to the north is totally broken up, and hopefully we can fit that in the scope of the project as well.
Okay. Other comments?
Should we just describe where the columbarium is going to be placed, just for those that are
Sure.
listening in
Sure.
tonight?
As best we can, the columbarium will be south of the entrance coming into the cemetery, the entrance as we know it now, the newer entrance. It'll be about 35 feet from the edge of the road to the columbarium itself, with concrete sidewalk leading up to it, concrete around it, very adequate maneuverability for someone that might be in a wheelchair. And there'll be some benches adjacent to the columbarium for people to sit and relax. So again, it's being placed with enough room around it so that in the future, if there's additional burial devices like that are needed, there will be room for them. So I think that's about it. And it's due to arrive in June, so the cement work will be done quite shortly, I would think.
I'll make
Go ahead.
a motion to approve the cemetery committee's proposed placement for the columbarium and sidewalk approach.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Batchor, second by Councilmember Hattlestead, to approve the cemetery committee's proposed placement of the columbarium and sidewalk approach. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion's carried. Item B, planning and zoning.
Yeah, we had a meeting. Cynthia took us on a tour of our duties and our roles as committee members. She also brought us a inventory of vacant lots throughout the city, which that was pretty interesting to look at. I don't think that's been done for a long time, to be able to see what's all available. We talked about rezoning, potential multiple family use for some of those lots. We were also talking about rezoning some of the cemetery property, I believe. So what else did we talk about? We talked about after the discussion or the meeting with the medical school in Gaylord's little presentation, we talked, we're going over a rental code and what that possibly would look like in town. We decided that we're gonna take a slow and steady approach to that, not that it's in need right at this moment. And then we started talking about accessory dwelling units. So like tiny homes or that sort of thing. New trend with aging parents and older children that want to stay close to home or live cheaper. So that was about the gist of it.
Okay, thank you. Any other committee updates? I sat in on the Historical Society meeting this morning and just wanted to pass along to you an invitation from the members of the Historical Society. They would just love to see you stop in and take a look at what they've been doing there. They've been working very hard on their new facility or their newly developed facility. And they're very proud of what's been accomplished, and I said I would do what I could to encourage you to stop in sometime. They will be open, by the way, the Spring into Arlington evening, they will be open during that, so if you have a chance, stop by. They would appreciate it very much.
And I have
Do
two
that. Two of them?
meetings I attended, yes. First was the Community Ed Report. We met in the Media Center in Gaylord, and she kind of went through attendance and gave information on what's happened this year and the plan for the summer. Under the old business, open gym for 2016 and 17, it ran from the November 2nd to February 16th. Green Isle had 24 users, Arlington 378, and Gaylord 612. And one of the reasons Gaylord use is high is it's the site of the varsity playing, or varsity games, and so the team likes to gather there and shoot it. And that made sense, and it'll be in Arlington once the new school is done, so. Then the new school will try to have open gym every week or most every night is what their hope with 3 gyms in there and the facility, they think they can allow for it. Also, they want to have a weight room open at both sites for the public to use, and I don't know if there will be any cost for that, but that's also a plan to be made available. The ice skating rink was open from December 19th to February 27th. Green Isle had very few participate. Gaylord put their ice on blacktop, and so with it warming up frequently, it didn't work very well. Consequently, not many skaters. So they'll have to find a better place. But Arlington, it was, where did Arlington in 2015 they had 215, 16 they had 231, and this year they had 292. So you can see ice skating rink is used in Arlington. Then moving on, now the basketball league for 5th and 6th grader league was sponsored by Jordan. We sent 2 boys teams, 2 girls teams, and they're primarily non-competitive. There's also another league that is competitive, and the part of the success of the program was that if they wanted to play in the competitive league, they had to play in the non-competitive league, so there were plenty of teams. Well, this year they didn't have that requirement, and consequently there weren't as many non-competitive teams, and so they're going to look to see if they can find another location for next year. Also, there's a high demand for coaches. In fact, programs are being considered dropping if they can't get anybody to coach. So, and that's all the way up and down all the leagues that they have. under new business, Craig Bullard has retired as coach for the Irish A's after 14 years. He's just got a daughter left in junior high, and so he's ready, but that leaves the Irish A's without a coach. And when the notice was given, it was approximately a week before league meetings. So there wasn't enough time for Jen to take over the project, and the committee said, just don't participate in that this year. Also, the Islanders from Gaylord asked for a coach because they lost 1-2. And what the committee said is, neither one will give a coach. We'll combine them since we're Sibley East for next year, and it'll be a Sibley East team and not a. And so that was the recommendation, and they'll. Yeah, it's just more, I had more notes just on the need for coaches and what I explained. Then, program is in the draft stage. Oh, before and after school program. There are so sometimes you hear it as latchkey. There will be one at the elementary school. They're all excited. They're working on details and looking for staff, coordinator first of all, and then people to help run the program. But they're all excited, and it will be in Gaylord for at the elementary. Now I'm moving on to the hospital board. We got updates in regard to when they're going to turn the first shovel full of dirt. Right now, the details, like what kind of door handles do we want to put on? You laugh, but it's critical to get a patient in and out.
Absolutely.
And so what each entrance needs, they have to determine all that. And so project or items like that are what they're finishing up and trying to get a final price for before they can decide and present to the Arlington board and then eventually to the Ridgeview board. And but also there are things that are along that important line are what's going to happen with the ED when they're working on that area. Where are they going to put the patients where, so that they're safe and clean, and where the entrance is going to be. And so that's going to take some time, and they've figured that by June 20th, the Ridgeview Sibley board will get their vote, and then the next week it'll go to the Ridgeview board, and the beginning of July should be turning dirt and going with the project. And what else? Provider update. There have a Dr. Melton Fong into family practice. In May, he will be in Arlington, March and April, and then be assigned to the Belle Plaine Clinic primarily. There's a Dr. Sabina Khan that will be gastroenterologist, doing endoscopies with clinic hours, and she's been getting busier each week. She's already in process. And we know that people are looking for doctors, and we are too, but because just enrollment is declining in rural areas, so are doctors. There aren't doctors becoming doctors. So that's a problem with it, that we're facing. Then they had another reason that, or a problem that the system is having is dealing with the computer as we had here. Anytime with technology, you got bugs to work out. And then, of course, they want to continue their big push for a seamless experience, whether you go to Arlington or Howard Lake or any of their facilities, being able to be treated the same and have your paperwork follow you wherever you're at. And there was I think what I'll do is send it to Liza, a letter that Todd received from a patient who had a baby delivered that ended up working its all the way up the line, and how well the team worked together to pull it off. And I'll have that letter sent to you so you can read it at your time. But it was, wow,
Good things happening over there.
yes.
Good, thank you. Any other committee reports? Okay, let's move on to open discussion. Item number A, the special council meeting to be held.
Yep, just wanted to ask the council if they were, your calendars allowable for moving the special council meeting to hold the assessment public hearing for the 2017 street and utility improvement project to April 24th at 6 p.m. That is the same evening we have our parks committee. We would propose holding that special assessment hearing at 6 p.m. The parks committee would be at 7. Schedule.
Does mine, it does mine.
I can make it work.
We'll try.
Always.
Guess it's a go.
Consensus is. And of course, we will be mailing out notices, proper advertisement in the newspaper, all that will be taken care of. So the residents are affected in that project area will be notified and invited to that meeting as well.
All right. Anything else? Any other comments? If not, motion's in order to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, John?
I forgot to mention, does the council want to send the street committee or whatever to see Mr. Amsden, the superintendent, about that?
We will be discussing it in
Yeah.
the streets committee.
Yeah.
Whether we, to what degree, I'm not sure if
Yeah,
we'll go
but I
and talk
mean,
to him, but, yeah.
You will be talking to Amsden about the council, I suppose.
Okay, we have a motion by Cowell to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Cowell, second by Councilmember Hattlestead to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried, 7:53. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Appreciate your attendance.